Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic plus non-classic. This episode number 2894 and Doubleshot number 2788. First discussing is a 3-issue miniseries from Battle from the Cowl, one of the tie-ins for it, Azrael, Death's Dark Knight. This book has only one purpose and one purpose only. By the way, the book is one of my favorite seasons. We are introducing a brand new Azrael here with this miniseries, who gets a ongoing that gets canceled after 18 issues. Its last 6 basically was a prologue into Judgment on Gotham, which he was kind of main villain for it. And here he is. This is Michael Lane, the second Azrael. Well, technically he's the third, but technically he's the second comic Azrael. Basically, the Order Saint Amand has been reestablished for the first time at this point in 6 years. He's been chosen as new Azrael. And by the way, Nightwing appears in this book. I gotta love the artwork here. It's the whole thing with Michael Lane. Now, Michael Lane actually is the only one of the 2 Azraels to break one of the 10 Commandments. Why? Because he slept with his brother's wife. Yep, according to 10 Commandments, you cannot do that at all. It's a sin to do that. And, well, the Order Saint Amand basically have some recap of other stuff happening with the Batman books this way. So Michael Lane is chosen to become the new Azrael. Nightwing Oracle kind of here. We have basically RP in the sky. And basically, by the end of the first issue, you have Michael Lane becoming a new Azrael. And this will be his definitive attire. This kind of makeshift attire. Yeah, that's his Azrael suit. Yep. Then he kind of gets stabbed, but don't worry, he survives. In the miniseries, he ends up fighting Nightwing in a sword duel, which he wins. Yeah. And he ends up fighting, I think this is supposed to be Talia. Yeah. Now, my guess is probably the reason why they have this particular Azrael make his debut in this miniseries. Is because the original one also made his debut in a miniseries. Yes. Excuse me, that was John Paul Valla. This is a complete different guy. Oh, it's not Order Saint Amand, it's the Order of Purity. That's the new group. Yeah, that's your new group that made a debut here. And they become integral part of the Azrael ongoing. Yep, they were integral part of this ongoing. And pops up a couple more times, have the book concluded. And we have this one Azrael in this book who's not the main Azrael. This is Abraham Alekton. It's like he was the one introduced here. And then we also did the League of Assassins. Yeah, and Talia is involved in this book. Along with this group known as the 7 Men of Death, who debuted in pages of Grant Morrison's Batman issue 670. Yeah, they're kind of like villains for Azrael to start off with. Yeah, and this later becomes basically, well, Azrael's sword. It kind of wipes away his sins and, well, allows him to become Azrael. They also have Merlin pop in the book, except it's not Merlin the Magician. It's Merlin the Archer. Yes, for some reason, Film this season, I want to include him in this miniseries. I'm not sure why. We also have Harry Bullock and Jamie Harper in the book, because, okay. Well, Gillian Mark does amazing cover artwork, and then the final issue is basically Azrael versus Nightwing in a duel, and Jason Todd appears as sort of the loose tie into the whole Battle for the Cow stuff. So apparently, get this. This whole miniseries takes place during the events of issue 1 of Battle for the Cow. Of course, next came the 8th Deadly Sin. That was the Azrael that it was also collected in the trade that collected this miniseries. Mm-hmm. And then you could think of it as this miniseries and that 2-part annual. The 2 annual is basically a backdoor pilot. Well, into a new Azrael ongoing, which I will discuss later. Yes, I will discuss that. Don't worry about that. Mm-hmm. Yep. So I give Azrael Death's Dark Knight a 8 out of 10. He's not as interesting as John Paul Valley. It's like, man, where's John Paul Valley? He's dead. He's been dead this way for 6 years. Next up, we're going back to 1955 with Brave and the Bold. Yep, this is before the tribe, before the team-up stuff. This is basically the anthology era with 3 stories. The Viking Prince, the Silent Knight, and the Golden Gladiator. Silent Knight stories are basically just him during the Crusades. Viking Prince is basically stories during the era of Vikings, and the Golden Gladiator is just stories during the Roman Empire. That's kind of what these stories are. And aside from issue 1 being these characters' debut, not a lot of interesting stuff here. I will be discussing a little bit of basically issues like 11 through 12 to 404. But okay, but in case you're curious though, what happened in Brave and the Bold number 1 aside from aside from the debut of these new characters? Not much. Yeah, basically the first issue was just an introduction. Golden Gladiator is written by Ed Harron, Robert Knight as Viking Prince, and Silent Knight. I'm thinking, when I heard the name Silent Knight again, like, wait. Yeah, he's going to pop again for Bat miniseries coming really soon. The second issue, just more stories involving them. Like Golden Gladiator take on Attila the Hun. Viking Prince take on Thravid. And the Silent Knight take on Sir Oswald Bane. Yes, who is a recurring villain. He appears in pretty much all, he appears in the first 3 stories of this. The first issue, again, issue 10. Well, afterwards, but by the time issue 20 runs on, he was done. Actually, it's not the Crusades. It's more like the Dark Ages. So yeah, 10th century, England, 6th century. Russ Heath does some of the artwork of these ones. Each character takes turns, and then we have them take on various characters. In issue number 3, it's still in Rome. For the Golden Gladiator issue, and of course they take on a flashback of DC's Thor. And Silent Knight take on a guy called the Black Lance. Mm-hmm. He also has his own supporting cast, like Slasher the Falcon, Lady Keela. Slasher the Falcon is his own pet bird, who appears in pretty much all the stories featuring the guy. But most of them anyways. And he does got a love interest, Lady Keela. Lady Kira is basically one of the reincarnations who became... I kid you not, this is part of a retcon. Yes, a retcon. That Silent Knight... basically... Lady Celia is a reincarnation of Clay Athra. And who is her present-day counterpart? Believe it or not, Hawk Girl. Yes, her husband is Brian Kent, aka the Silent Knight. Yeah, he is also, get this, a reincarnation of the Carter Hall line. Yes. Yeah, it was part of some. It was part of, I think it was a retcon they did that, where. But what about Golden Gladiator? Like, is he part of some reincarnation thing? No, he is just a gladiator. And by the way, this guy actually died in the Judas coin. Probably in the he appeared in the main story of that book. Yeah. In issue 4. Oh, by the way, the whole thing with the Viking Prince, is he like some descendant of some famous character, like the Silent Knight is? No, he's just a Viking Prince who's like a pirate. Yeah, it's kind of like it's like a Viking style pirate story. But by issue 24, he's out of the book. But I'll kind of discuss basically. So, those of you probably thinking, is there any trade paperbacks collecting these issues? No. No, there is not. Yeah, and then pretty much they introduce Robin Hood. Yes, Robin Hood replaces the Golden, I think he replaces, the Golden Gladiator. Yeah, he replaces the Golden Gladiator for an issue. He actually made his first appearance in New Fun Comics. I think this one is based upon one of the movies they appeared at the time. Yes, and he would be a featured character in this book. Star issue 5 and was here at issue 15. Golden Gladiator, like, he's around for the opening 4 issues of the book, and then he's taken out of the book with issue number 5. As for why he was taken out of the book, I don't know. Yeah, but he does return for issue 6, and then he's done. Yeah, he is done. They do have one more story featuring him and having Viking Prince take an issue off, just so they can wrap him up in the book. So, kind of in a way, they do wrap up his story, and Robin Hood comes from that point forward. He kind of basically comes as a replacement for him. And then Viking Prince comes back in issue 7. On the cover of issue 7, you have Silent Knight fighting some other knight. And also, Robin Hood just basically just typical stories involving him. Yeah, and this is a miniseries called Best, the Brave, and the Bold. Yeah, that is a... it's a reprint book published in the 80s, which would reprint old Brave and Bold stories. It lasts 6 issues. It's basically reprinting like old stories. But you might think, are these stories bad? No. No, they're not. My guess is the reason why Golden Gladiator replaced because, well, he wasn't interesting for some people, so they just dropped from the book and, he was brought, let's see. It's a Golden Gladiator on the cover, he's not appearing in the book. Nope. Opening story for issue 8 is Robin Hood. Second story is Viking Prince, and third is Silent Knight. Yeah, Golden Gladiator does not appear in the book at all. Nope. Because he was done. Also, the Robin Hood story is written by Bill Finger. Yes, Bill Finger. Right, he's one like, really? Yeah. Also, Viking Prince is, let's see. Because at the start, Viking Prince is done by Robert Kniger. Let's see. I think it was, let's see. Okay, Silent Night was done by Robert Kniger. Let's see. I think, okay, Robert Kniger stops doing Viking Prince after issue 2. Issue 3 is done by Bill Finger. Yep, Bill Finger. Issue 4 is by Bob Haney with Joe Kubert on the artwork. For issue 5, it's Bill Finger doing Robin Hood. Viking, he also has the Viking Prince, and of course, Silent Night is basically, I think it's about the Shield of Terror. And of course, Robin Hood, and for issue 6, for the final story for Golden Glider, Bill Finger does that with Ross Heath in the artwork. Bob Haney does Robin Hood, and of course, Robert Knight still does Silent Night. For issue number 7, it's, Bill Finger back doing Robin Hood and Viking Prince. Bob Haney takes over the book, takes over that story. For issue 8, still the same creative team. Yeah. Oh, and Robin Hood, he's here for pretty much the rest of the book. Mm-hmm. Then we have Robin Hood and Viking Prince issue 9 done by Bob Haney. Issue 10, love this cover here of the Silent Underwater. Bill Finger comes back to the book, and Bob Haney does the Viking Prince story. But he does, that story. There's jousting on the cover of issue number 11 with Robin Hood doing by Bill Finger and Viking Prince by, of course, no change of creative team here. It's like they were loosely adapting these classic stories. I would say Robin Hood definitely has a story there. All about the Apple Apparel. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and by issue 12, Robin Hood and Viking Prince by Bob Haney. And that's really it, per se. Also, in issue number 12, Silent Night meets Knights Roundtable. Yep, he does. And those of you curious, though, how they start appearing in the book issue 10. And they're here a very brief period of time. But always nice to see Knights Roundtable. Maybe he's off enjoying them. But yeah, that's pretty much to discuss here. I'm going to give the issues roughly I want to be nice. I'm going to give 8.5 out of 10 these first 12 issues. I didn't discuss the story specifically per se, but hey, you got to praise the fact I talk about the creative teams of this book. It's just basically a series of adventures for these 3 characters. Of course, yes, Golden Guy goes to play to issue 6. Well, briefly for issue 5 by Robin Hood. When it comes back in issue 7, he's there pretty much the rest of the book. So when I come back to Raven Bold, I'll be finished talking. I'll finish with this area and we'll talk with the more interesting stuff for the book. But this stuff's not bad per se. It's just I don't think DC cares to print this stuff per se. There's no archive book or any kind of trade that collects these. Like you would think, would DC collect these? Depends per se. I would say people would like. I would say of the stories in here, I would say Robin Hood people would be interested because people love Robin Hood. I think that despite some of the movies have done, the last few movies have done over the years, I think there's still a lot of love for Robin Hood. Yes. Viking Prince, I would say maybe if he, I remember quickly, I think he made appearance just in Unlimited. Yes, he did. Silent Night, not really. He's probably not a character you would know of, but the whole thing with Silent Night is that, well, if you're a Hawkman fan, check this book out because basically he's a reincarnation, even though they don't mention the book per se, but he is a reincarnation of Hawkman. One of the many reincarnations of Hawkman. Silent Night is one of them. Golden Gladiator, he's just a gladiator in the Roman Coliseum. I'm sure Chuck Dixon, I don't know if Chuck Dixon read these issues or not. I'm sure he has. But if you track these issues down, it's like impossible. Because these issues were released back in the mid-50s. So who knows? So when I come back to this book, I will start Azrael, and I will put this era of Raven Bold behind me and talk more interesting stuff for Raven Bold. Yep, so that's it for this book review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do another like button. So, I do think they have one more to go, but I'm going to rest again, and then I'm going to do that one more video. And that's all Comic Horror is ready to go to, okay? Next video. Bye.